Uh, yeah. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Going for Two. I am Q1 Humphreys. And man, I look at the Eastern Conference, y'all. I look at the Eastern Conference and I say, man, I don't know who in the world is going to come out of that conference. Of course, you got Detroit Pistons leading the conference in record, and they look like the best team all season long. You got the Boston Celtics, who surprisingly are second in the Eastern Conference, and they are getting ready to get back Jason Tatum, which could literally change the course of the entire NBA season if he's healthy. The way he's looking in his 5v5 scrimmages, he looks good. You got the Cleveland Cavaliers, you got the New York Knicks, all these teams scrapping and fighting to come out of the East. But in this video, y'all, and I wanted to watch a little more of the Cavs before I came out here and said something. I think I like the Cavs, y'all. I like the Cavs because you look at the trade deadline, and I said it in my trade deadline video. I said, this James Harden move is going to be a good move for the Cavs because he is an upgrade from Darius Garland. There's no disrespect to Darius Garland. I think he's going to thrive in LA. I'm cheering for him, rooting for him in LA. But James Harden is better in almost every way for the Cavs right now. He's going to create way easier looks for the guys, as we've seen with the play of Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell and all the other guys, including guys like Jalen Tyson, who led the team in points last night in their win over the Detroit Pistons. But I think about James Harden, I think, man, this guy is a guy that he lifts your offense. And the thing about the Cavs is they didn't get worse defensively by adding him. Because Darius Garland is not a good defender. It's not because he doesn't try. It's because of his stature. He's a small guard, and small guards in the NBA get targeted. James Harden is 6'5". He's a bigger body out there on defense. So, boom. I look at the Cavaliers. Cavaliers come up with a 113-109 victory against the Detroit Pistons last night without Donovan Mitchell. Jalen Tyson led the team in scoring with 22 points. Harden poured in 18. Jarrett Allen didn't really play too much. I think he only had 21 minutes and 8 points. Nevertheless, the Cavaliers beat the number one seeded Pistons without their best player. The Cavaliers, since they've gotten James Harden, dare I say, have been the best team in the NBA. They have an 8-1 record in games that James Harden has played since the trade. Their only losses came to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Man, oh man, oh man, y'all. James Harden, of course, he has his own demons to exercise in the playoffs, but as of right now, I think the Cavs are going to win the Eastern Conference. I think they're going to win the Eastern Conference, y'all, because I look at last season. Last season, first of all, they were riddled with injuries. There was no Evan Mobley for a time. There was no Darius Garland for a time. So they struggled, especially in that series against the Pacers, and they just ran them out the gym. Wasn't much they could do. But this year, I look at the way they're defending. I look at the additions they got in the trade deadline. Not just James Harden, but also bringing in Dennis Schroeder, who gave you 15 points and is a really good backup point guard, as we saw for the Pistons last year. Surprised they didn't bring him back. But as we saw for the Pistons last year, Dennis Schroeder is a very big pickup for them. You got Keon Ellis, another guy that can come in and produce on both ends of the floor for your second unit. The Cavaliers made all the moves they needed to make to elevate themselves into contention for the Eastern Conference and potentially for the NBA championship. They get rid of Lonzo Ball, who was heavily struggling. You get rid of DeAndre Hunter, who was heavily struggling. You get rid of Darius Garland, who was struggling, but he was hurt. He couldn't stay on the court. So you bring in James Harden, a guy that we know is going to be on the court. Of course, we talk about his struggles in the playoffs and struggles in the biggest moments like Game 7s and like Game 7 last year. He had a no-show in Game 7 last year. But think about him, he's on the court. Another thing that I think about with the Cavaliers and their playoff struggles in recent memory has been the play of Jarrett Allen. Jarrett Allen has shrunk in every single playoffs he's been in. Every single one. He's got the infamous quote a couple years ago saying, man, the lights were too bright. You hate to hear that from one of your players. But that happened. Then last year against the Pacers, he was being attacked and just dominated. With James Harden on the team over these 9 games, I know 9 games is not a big sample size, but with Harden and the way he's going to make things easy for you, I think this can translate to the playoffs. Jarrett Allen's averaging 19 points, 10 rebounds on nearly 73% from the field. He's playing way better excuse me, with Harden on the floor. Evan Mobley, who's been kind of he's been all right this season, but I think the thing with Evan Mobley was that he had to become that second guy, that second scorer behind Donovan Mitchell, that second offensive push behind Donovan Mitchell. But now with James Harden, he don't got to be that. You can live with a bunch of drop-off dunks. He don't got to do too much. Just do your job, play defense, catch these lobs, put backs, drop-offs, easy stuff. He don't got to be crazy because he got James Harden now. So yes, his points I think are down to like the 14, 15 points per game with Harden, but he's having an impact on the game to me. He's having an impact on the game. So I look at the Cavs and I think, man, they got it. They got what they need. They just got to put it together and win. Donovan Mitchell is really, really good. He's really, really good. To me, one concern that I had was how would Donovan Mitchell play with Harden, because Donovan Mitchell is a guy that he can play off the ball, but he needs that rock to hoop. You know what I'm saying? He needs that rock to work. But nevertheless, he with Harden gonna let guys eat. You look at every single superstar that has played with Harden has had crazy scoring years. I think Russell Westbrook, the 1 year that he played with Harden, averaged like 27, 28 points. You look at the Brooklyn Nets and how Harden became the point guard for that team, even in the 16 games that him, Kyrie, and KD played together. Them two guys, Kyrie and KD, was able to just cook because Harden was officiating and facilitating the offense. I'm seeing the same thing here in Cleveland. What I think with Cleveland is that their depth is a major, major asset to them. They are really, really good. Really, really good. I think I'm going to do a video on the contenders and the pretenders of the playoffs coming up. But, y'all, I think the Cavs are up there. They pushed Detroit to overtime a couple nights ago and then beat them last night. This is tough. This is very, very, very tough. The Cavs, this is a team that I dropped a video on saying that, hey, something's got to give. Something's got to change. And props to that front office for making the moves and putting yourself in the best position possible to get the job done. I think it was Kendrick Perkins on First Take. He said that the Cleveland Cavaliers did more for Donovan Mitchell than they did for LeBron James. And you look at history, that's accurate. LeBron James had to leave and then come back to get something, to get like some big player to come to Cleveland. Not even that. The Cavs were just bad and they drafted Kyrie Irving, and then Bron came back to play with Kyrie. Versus Donovan Mitchell, they're making moves. They're making moves to put pieces beside him. You look at after the first game, bro, Donovan Mitchell and James Harden showed that chemistry. James Harden came in and said, yeah, man, I just wanna hoop. Donovan Mitchell said, yo, be you. Be you, be you, be you. And this was a year where James Harden was scoring at a very high level. I think this was the most points scored over the past 5 years in terms of averages. And in LA, he was more of just, I got to do what I got to do. Pit-a-pat. You know how Harden do the pit-pat, 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 pat, layup, pat, step back. He averaged like 14 isolation possessions in Cleveland, in LA, I'm sorry. But in Cleveland, that's down to 6. You see, even last night, he only scored 18 points. But he was so instrumental in getting other guys involved. Jalen Tyson does not score 22 points without James Harden on the floor. We know that. But, man, I like it. I like what I see from the Cavs right now. I'm looking forward to seeing Donovan Mitchell come back. We got about a little over a month to the playoffs start. It's going to be real fun. Real fun here. And I it's crazy how, I could literally, I'm going to mess around and have to come back on here another video next week saying, yeah, I got this team winning the Eastern Conference. But right now, on March 4th, 11:40-ish, I got the Cavs winning the Eastern Conference. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Going for 2, we out of here. Yeah.